Welcome back to CryptoWealthy channel, guys. In today's video we're going to do something special, and that's the prediction. Why could we actually reach $15,000 to $20,000 in the next period of time? And we have multiple reasons and evidences for that, and that's what we're doing on this channel. Technical analysis first and then prediction second. We're not just going to guess what could happen, we're just going to give you a clue why it could happen. And now let's begin. Starting with the daily time frame on the chart for the Bitcoin over here, we are again above this big trend line that we had since 2.5 to 3 years ago, and right now Bitcoin is showing us pretty good strength because we did defend this $8,000 pretty hardly. One of the reasons I already told you and mentioned 3 times that the $8,000 is one of the most important levels, and those 2 weeks and the candles that came back to retest this level has proven us that pretty good, because after this flash crash, Bitcoin has been rally pretty hard. We didn't have good resistance on $8,000, which is pretty bullish. One of the reasons why is this bullish is because as a resistance we didn't have much struggle to actually break this level, but as the traders has been actually advancing on the way to the upside, they were realizing that we have over here multiple reasons to defend this level. One of the reasons are 2 moving averages that are standing exactly on $8,000. Also, together with the Fibonacci retracement is also most important level there. So the traders are probably watching that also and put the buy walls on the way to the downside once the Bitcoin started to correct itself over here before next jump, and that actually happened over here. We can see that we are again above this trend line, and for now for the Bitcoin it's very important to break next high so we can be sure that we are going to stay above this trend line. If you remember, I also mentioned in the previous technical analysis video that as long as we are above this 20 exponential moving average and the $8,000, it will be very easy for the Bitcoin to break this trend line, and look what happened. Also, what could establish the new rally is breaking $10,500. What that means actually is going to diminish the whole this structure that we have on the downside, and we will start surging to the upside for sure. Now, if it's going to be FOMO or the new organic pump, we still don't know yet, but we could guess with some proofs over here. Some of the proofs are of course on the Google trend over here search, and that's just a Bitcoin. We can see after the Bitcoin halving pump also on the Google Trends, we can see that the term Bitcoin is also starts hitting the road, which is pretty amazing. Over here we did broke this high from June 2019 already. We are starts hitting the road towards level of 100 since December 2017. Of course that's far away, but we can see as a worldwide term over here this is pretty good, because in the previous 2.5 years we didn't ever have this high, so we are on some sort of a way on the way to the $20,000. Now that's not always good, because we don't like dumb money to actually pump the price all the time on this way as we did in the 2017 over here. But of course every pump is good, so we could earn some money, but I would rather see organic move on the Bitcoin, which could happen because of halving. I don't expect any of these prices before 2 and 3 months. Of course this is a Bitcoin, always good surprises, but in order to see halving hits the road with its effect of the inflation cut in half, we need to see a little bit time to pass by in order to see those prices. The reason why I predict $15,000 is because it's going to be a little bit bumpy in order to break $14,000 over here, and after that we're probably going to see New Year. So after New Year I do expect Bitcoin to reach $20,000. Of course, again, I told you everything could happen, but $20,000 to $15,000 is pretty good and conservative prediction for the Bitcoin in this state, because there are those reasons that could help us reach those goals, and probably it's going to be bumpy. Now, what I don't want to see is actually overextended indicators over here. On the daily chart we can see that we are still below a level of 80, which means that we are still not in overbought zone and we still have a much more space to actually rally on the way to the upside. Also, these indicators could stay a lot irrational, let's say, because in overbought zone when the Bitcoin is in bull mode, and we should not rely on them when the dumb money and FOMO hits the road. Since we are discussing about much more space, or let's say indicators over here on the MACD, as I told you in many other videos, MACD managed to actually stay bullish. Right now it's going to convert onto the bullish side all over again, but we are still in bullish territory over here and we do have plenty of space to actually be bullish. So that's also one of the good position for the Bitcoin and the MACD in this case. Now, one of the reasons why I actually gave prediction today is because of the S&P 500, which is no longer correlated, at least now in the previous days, no longer correlated with the Bitcoin. S&P in the previous days, or let's say 2 weeks, is consolidating around this area. We do have some sort of a resistance over here below a level of 200 exponential moving average and 100, while the Bitcoin in this case is actually trying to establish a new high. We do have in the previous 3 days green candles, while on S&P 500 we do have downtrend in the short term. So I do believe if this continues to do so, then we're going to see the higher prices in the Bitcoin because we're no longer going to follow this S&P. I do believe that if we detach from S&P 500, one of the reasons for that is going to be because of the halving and cut rate inflation in half, and that's going to for sure take some significance in the Bitcoin space to actually detach from this S&P 500. As we're recording over here, Bitcoin is already trying to reach the $10,000. As we can see, we are very near it, and I hope we are going to succeed $100 more to actually reach this high. Bitcoin is showing us some pretty good strength. Now, don't get too excited yet. We need to see established level of support around this level. We don't want to see drop all over again to the downside, because that would be sign that the Bitcoin cannot actually break this level of $10,000 because of the massive selling pressure over here. As we can see, if we zoom in on the daily chart, Bitcoin actually tried to establish level of support over here, and after this candle failed to do so. We did find level of support on level of $8,000, and now we are doing the same thing. So make sure to observe this level. It's very important because it could set us pretty bullish. As I mentioned in the 2-3 technical analysis videos ago, that if we establish level of support on this trend line, we are going to be very bullish. The reason why the way to $14,000 is going to be bumpy also is because of the massive trading volume over here, and the reason why we're going to have easy way to the $20,000 is because we don't have volume on the way to the upside. We went too quickly to the $20,000, and so quickly we came back all the way to $3,200, which means that if we break $14,000, it's going to be much easier to reach $20,000. Now, BLX chart over here is showing us also that Bitcoin respected this big trend line of support in pretty good way, except this time over here when we had this anomaly flash crash because of the world's crisis, and Bitcoin managed to actually immediately go back on the way to the upside and hit the halving on good way. Now, one thing over here which sets me very bullish on particularly this chart over here is this blue trend line. If Bitcoin actually decide to go in correction before hits the road towards $15,000, that level will be $8,000. And guess what we discussed actually about $8,000. On this $8,000 we have a plenty of level of support to hold us, and probably going to bounce pretty easily from it like we did now. So yeah, Bitcoin is pretty bullish right now. I think this is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like this sort of content, and if you don't, let us know in the comment section down below what would you like to watch on this channel most. And until the next video, happy trading and goodbye.